is my Stamina Templar non-CP PvP build for the High Isle patch. StamPlar is my main, and I think this is the best shape they've ever been in. I hope you enjoy this build as much as I do. For the race, I'm an Orc, mainly for the Swift Warrior passive, plus Orcs are just cool. I'm using the Serpent Mundus Stone, Sugar Skulls for the food, and standard Tri-Stat potions. Here's a look at the stats. I'll also put a UESP link in the description, so if you want to take a closer look, you can do that there. I'm putting all points into stamina, which puts my max stamina at 27,000. Max health is 30,000. Max magicka is 19,000. Fully buffed stamina recovery is 2,500. Magicka recovery is 1,500. Spell damage is 6,200. A quick note on that spell damage, remember that because of skill hybridization, abilities now scale with whichever stat is highest. And thanks to our Illuminate passive, we can stack spell damage higher than we can weapon damage, so that's why we're doing that. It doesn't make a big difference in the build, it really just affects what kind of glyphs we're using on the jewelry, otherwise it really has no impact on how we're putting the build together. We also have other sources of damage that don't appear here on the stat sheet, and we'll get into that a little bit later. For the gear, I'm using Wretched Vitality on the body, Deadly Strikes is a front bar only set, Master Bow on the back bar, Gaze of Sithis Mythic Helm, and One Piece Magma Incarnate. 5 medium, 1 heavy, 1 light. The armor traits are 3 divines, 4 well fitted. The jewelry is 3 swift with spell damage glyphs on all 3 pieces. Front bar weapon is a sharpened 2-handed maul with a crusher glyph, and the back bar weapon is that Master Bow infused with a weapon damage glyph. For the skill bars, my offensive abilities are Biting Jabs, Power of the Light, Poison Injection, and the Crescent Sweep ultimate. I'm also using the Javelin for the stun. And the defensive toolkit consists of Honor the Dead, Extended Ritual, Resolving Vigor, and the Reviving Barrier ultimate. I'm also using Restoring Focus and Rally. Those are the 2 main buffs I try to keep active at all times. And I have Camo Hunter on the front bar just for some extra passive damage. For the offensive strategy, your playstyle is basically hit and run. You kind of play like a StamSword. You want to kill quickly, then get back on the move before you start taking too much focus pressure. For the main combo, start on the back bar and hit your enemy with Poison Injection, then swap to the front bar and tag them with Power of the Light, hit them with the Crescent Sweep ultimate, stun them with the Javelin, then finish them off with jabs. You want to make sure that Poison Injection hits the target because that activates our Master Bow, and it also activates our infused weapon damage glyph. And with our armor passives and our buffs and all of that combined, that's a total of about 1,000 extra spell damage that you definitely don't want to be missing out on as you do your combo. So if they dodge Poison Injection, keep casting it on them until it hits them, then move forward with your combo. Another note about the placement of that stun, I think it's important to save that stun until after Crescent Sweep, because if you stun them right away or if you stun them too early, they're still going to have most of their health bar, most likely, and then they're going to break out of that stun and go full defensive mode, casting all their buffs and hots and all of that, and then you're going to have an even harder time getting the rest of the way through their health bar. Whereas if you take a big chunk of their health bar away first with Crescent Sweep, then stun them before they can react to that, then the pulse from your Crescent Sweep is going to stack with your jabs, you're going to get a Burning Light proc, the Execute multiplier from Poison Injection is going to be ramping up on them, Power of the Light is going to pop. Most of that's going to happen before they even break out of that CC, and by that point, it's probably too late. For the defensive strategy, the number one most important thing is to prioritize team support, because that has a reciprocating effect. The more successful your teammates are, the more successful you're going to be. So when it comes down to landing a killing blow versus saving a teammate, always save the teammate, every time. And most likely that's going to result in you actually having more kills in the end. Also keep in mind that oftentimes you need to be a body block for your allies, so if you see someone who's taking a lot of damage or struggling to survive, jump in between them and their attacker and absorb some of that damage while you're healing them up. And that's going to increase both of your chances for survival in the long run. You want to always try to maintain good situational awareness, fight from a good position. For example, don't just fight in between 2 enemy spawns because you're just going to get endlessly sandwiched that way. If you're in a good position and an enemy team shifts, then you need to shift too. Don't fight until you're in a good position first. cleanse constantly, but also be aware of Plague Break. If you have that on you, you want to create a little distance between yourself and your team, then cleanse. But cleansing often is important because it removes, of course, negative effects from yourself, but it's also giving your teammates the opportunity to cleanse themselves, and that's very, very helpful. It also just keeps that hot going, which is always good. If you need to heal up quickly, if it's an emergency situation, do a cleanse and roll dodge cancel out of that cleanse, then cast Vigor, and then Rally or Honor the Dead, and that'll top your health bar up. Use the Barrier Ultimate in emergencies, and remember to utilize movement, roll dodge, line of sight, all of those kinds of things in order to avoid damage. Don't just try to tank out damage, because most likely that's not going to end up in your favor. And that brings us to the end of my Stamina Templar non-CP PvP build. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have any questions or anything you'd like to share, feel free to leave a comment or email me at ketsparrowhawk@gmail.com. Until next time, good luck out there.